She makes her bid for a little piece of history.
Hello and welcome to the run of the race. We are coming to you a little bit later in the week than usual, courtesy of the Christmas break. How was your Christmas, Mark?
That's pretty good. Plenty of turkey, plenty of duck to ducking. It's the way to go.
You always have to eat plenty on Christmas. Unlucky the jockeys probably weren't able to eat too much with Boxing Day racing, but I'm sure they still enjoyed their Christmas nonetheless. It's time to look at last Saturday's meeting in review, and we begin with the win of Market Ruler, who took her record to 6 wins from 10 starts.
Ruler at the 600. She's got a beautiful run behind the 2 leaders. And then Rebel Yell trailing her. Back on the inside, ridden along Fairview. Magic Planet drops out to last. At the 450, coming around the corner, Stares and Whispers led the way from Fire and Rain. And now Witten comes to the outside here aboard the favourite Market Ruler at the top of the home straight with her run. Followed back on the rails by Fairview. Rebel Yell further back, 200 left to go. And letting down Market Ruler, storm to the lead. Market Ruler dashes away from them. On the rails, Fairview, then Fire and Rain and Rebel Yell, but Market Ruler's going to absolutely trounce them. Market Ruler more than 2 lengths.
Now we saw there on the screen a class rating of -5.9, meaning she's 6 lengths almost better than that class. Does that suggest we should see her just stream her way through these classes now?
She's been a follow horse in previous editions of this show, and she stays a follow horse today. It was a really good run. I know that Simon Miller gave a bit of a rap to Kate Witten how she rode the horse. I know it set up quite nicely for her, but it was still a very, very good performance. She's the follow horse. The forgive horse for mine is Fire and Rain. Had to carry a stack of weight, was a little bit wide off what was a pretty warm speed as well. Would like to see him down in weight, possibly in a little bit easier and over the 1,000 metres also. And the forget horse I think would be Magic Planet. I had this horse second pick on Saturday, but was very, very plain, was out the back and didn't make too much ground either in the straight.
And we don't have to wait too long for your follow horse in Market Ruler either, with it due to run this Saturday. So really picking up the West Speed money too. So lucrative bonuses, and Market Ruler with a big weight nonetheless, but looks set to be a big contender this weekend. The next race was a quite slowly run race. It was won by Let's Twist.
Like as Nordic King down on the inside. Going forward is Oriental Rose coming towards the home bend, being followed by Upwards Others, and then Glimmer Girl, who's out deeper. Hey Magic and 2 lengths still behind them. Barzinho, 400 left to travel, and they're about to set sail for the judge, and 1 org led at the top of the straight from Let's Twist. Oriental Rose. Pike's going to have to bide his time with the favourite behind them. Nordic King looking for gaps close towards the rail. At the 250, Let's Twist had reached the lead from Oriental Rose, and now the gap comes for Nordic King. Let's Twist is the leader with 100 to go. Nordic King trying to run it down. It's Let's Twist. Let's Twist in front. Nordic King won't get to Let's Twist.
Now Let's Twist was travelling almost 8 lengths slower than benchmark to the 600, so it's no surprise she was able to finish off. Who are you forgiving out of this race?
Well, you hit upon the problem with this race. They went very, very slowly, so I think the form is unreliable. I'm going to forgive Nordic King. He's not one of mine, but he was held up in the first part of the straight, and I think if he gets out and William Pike got the run that he was looking for, probably would have won and made it 3 from 3. The forget horse, unfortunately, is Barzinho. This horse will probably now be retired. That was certainly the reflection on Saturday night. The follow horse, I don't really have one out of this race, but that's the format of this show. We've got to find one. I'm going to go with Glimmer Girl. Had plenty of excuses on Saturday. I'm just trusting Martin Allen, who's got a very good record with these gallopers he buys out of other yards, to turn this horse around. I thought she'd run a race on Saturday. She did have a few excuses.
All right, race number 3 was won by Angelic Ruler, who just seems to be taking everything that comes before her. She's in sensational form in the way that she's come back. Let's have a look at the concluding stages.
Kakadu, then a Cetro and Angelic Ruler, Stone Motherless last still at the 550. Sliced Bread is certainly carving out a good pace in front. Led the way by a length and a half to Archant. Now about to attack it on the corner. 2 lengths to Euphonious and Lipstick Flickers. Kakadu, a Cetro and Angelic Ruler, who's about to be hoisted to the extreme outside with her run. Archant had grabbed Sliced Bread. At the 200, Archant grabbed the lead from Sliced Bread, Euphonious, and here comes the favourite Angelic Ruler. Look at her charge down the outside, Angelic Ruler. She dashes up, put pay to them, and she's drawing right away, Angelic Ruler, with another sharp win. It's 2 wins in 7.
Angelic Ruler winning there twice within 7 days. You wouldn't mind being an owner of that horse. They would have picked up nearly, what, 160,000 in a week. Not bad for a week's work.
I could hear Colin Pearce, I think, from the owners and Trainers Lounge on Saturday. I think he's a massive owner of this horse. I think he might have about 50% of the horse. I think he might have bred it as well. I think she's definitely the follow horse here. I know the overall rating's not great, 1.7 in the class racing of 0.7, but look at that sectional, minus 7.7. That was about 5 lengths faster than any other horse in this race over the last 600. I think she's a bit like Arcadia Queen, maybe not in that class, but I think when she gets into a more high tempo race, she'll run a very good figure. The Forget horse is sliced bred, just simply not up to this class, led a slow tempo and finished last but won. And the Forgive horse, well, it's not really Forgive because I really want to forget etc. I just don't think she's run a decent rate in her entire life. Was not at all surprised to see her drift on Saturday. She did run the second fastest last 200 metres in the race, so maybe she is worth one more go. And she did have the excuse of being 1400 first up, but she's just simply not one of mine.
She was a big drifter on course too, almost doubled in quote in the time that they were in the mounting yard. So it'll be interesting to watch her going forward. Now the next race was won by the Big Show, who we have seen in previous starts, high pressure, staying events and being able to get the job done. This was a bit different, was travelling 10.2 lengths slower than benchmark and just got the job done.
Stride, he wants to try and hold Brothers Keeper. He'll do that. Like a Butterfly third, 2 lengths behind them. Then Press the Petal and then Juicing Carrots, who came off the steel, followed by Dark Prospect and Burger Time. Well, the race is really on in earnest. Coming around the home corner, less than 400 to travel. Brothers Keeper on the outside of the Big Show. The Big Show again got his head in front. Like a Butterfly about to charge down the outside. 2 lengths, Press the Petal. The Big Show lane shows him the persuader. 150 from home. Like a Butterfly, the immediate danger. It's the Big Show. Like a Butterfly keeps coming. Lane's lifting the Big Show. Like a Butterfly, I don't think she'll get there. The Big Show. The Big Show did it all. The
Big Show winning there, who will now press forward to a Perth Cup with just 53 kilos. So looking forward to seeing the Big Show.
Yeah, certainly. I think they're going to struggle to find jockeys that can do 53 kilos with so many horses on the minimum. He's certainly the follow horse out of that race because there was mid-race pressure applied there by Brothers Keeper and Troy Turner. And Damien Lane, he booted up the Big Show to make sure he held that inside. So he had that mid-race exertion that he probably wasn't looking for, and he still managed to keep going. He had the fastest 4 to the 2 and he held on to and he got the job done. The Forget horse for mine is Burger Time. Just simply wasn't competitive in this race. I think we've been waiting for this horse to draw a gate and to run well. Maybe it wasn't the fact there was a low pressure race. He's been in a lot of high pressure races, but I'm jumping off Burger Time, certainly from a Saturday perspective. And the Forgive horse, this horse is definitely one of mine. He finished last in the race, Dial Prospect. I just think he's had enough. He's had about 11 runs this campaign now.
All right, that is a look at the first half of Saturday's meeting. We'll take a quick break and on the other side we'll look at the back half. Welcome back to the run of the race. We continue our review of Saturday's meeting with the winner, Ambiente. It was great to see this horse back at the races. 61 kilos, just didn't bother him at all.
Who's over on the outside from Shackleton. Roy Alec was given a bit more rain though at the 550, and the showy son of Written Tycoon, Roy Alec, now races to the lead by a length and a half on Festive Excess, about to come off his heels. Cognac had found himself 3 wide, being followed then by the heavily backed top weight Ambiente. Over on the inside is Dutch Spy, further back behind them Alpha Sky down to the 200. Roy Alec's gone, Ambiente, Cognac have gone up and joined it. Ambiente had reached the lead from Cognac. Alpha Sky is starting to charge right down the outside. Warwick's lifting Ambiente though, and Ambiente a grand win. Ambiente.
Great to see Ambiente doing what he did on the weekend. Good to see a great first up performance with that sort of weight on his back. Recorded a figure of 2 lengths better than benchmark, and it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do as he progresses throughout this campaign. Mark, who makes the Forgive for you?
Yeah, the Forgive horse I think is Cognac here, carrying 59 kilos, having to give weight to the likes of Shackleton and Alpha Sky. I think are a fair bit better than their current handicap mark. Was also a little bit wide, came back with a cast plate as well. Plenty of excuses for Cognac. I think he can win another race, certainly a little bit easier than this. The Forget horse has to be Roy Alec, simply hasn't done too much since moving to WA. Turned up with bar shoes on Saturday, led this race and finished last. The follow horse, I could have had 2 or 3 here. Alpha Sky, Shackleton I thought were good. Bon Voyage will win a race when he finally works out how to get into it before the last 200 metres, but it simply has to be Ambiente sprinting so well off 61 kilos. I think this horse will go really, really well in the Summer Scorcher on Perth Cup Day.
Yeah, Liz saying that she will be heading towards the Summer Scorcher, provided the horse remains all in one piece. So looking forward to seeing Ambiente step up in class. Now, speaking of a step up in class, we're talking about the feature event of the day now, the Ted Van Heemps Group 2 level. Let's see Galaxy Star winning.
Came off his heels. Behind them, Galaxy Star a length and a half away with Dark Musket down on her inside. Prying Tom is next, and then Prize Catch and Star Exhibit. They come to the 450. It's Gadding down on the inside. A half a length in front from Perfect Jewel. 2 lengths behind them, Galaxy Star. Pike is really having to stoke her up. Further back, Dark Musket, Perfect Jewel, Gadding. They're having a 2-horse war, but now the favourite starts to get warm. 150 left to go. Gadding regained the lead on the outside, though. Galaxy Star levels up. She grabs him now. She puts pay to him and she draws away. Comes on to win it again, Galaxy Star.
Galaxy Star winning the Ted Van Heemps there. Now, Mark, we're used to seeing really, really good figures from Galaxy Star. If we look at her last 3 runs, a minus 13.3, minus 12.3, and then a minus 10.2. So real high-class numbers. This time it was a +1. Not her best, but they only went slow, so was it a case of that's all she could do?
You can only run those type of numbers, Group 1 type numbers, if they go Group 1 tempo, and they certainly didn't here. They went about 66 plus tempo as far as I was concerned. In terms of the Perth Cup, I thought it was the perfect Perth Cup trial. I'm very disappointed she's not going to go around in the big race on the 5th of January. I thought she couldn't have been any more impressive had she tried. So she is the follow horse, even though she's not going forward to the Group 2. The Forgive horse is Prize Catch, missed the start, also had his incorrect gear as well. The bubble cheeker was on incorrectly on the incorrect side of the bit. This horse simply did not run his race. Also affected the race because he was probably the likeliest leader. Ended up with Gattin and Perfect Jewel leading. And the Forget horse, I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to say Prying Tom, maybe just that run in the Kingston Town Classic, which was a massive PB, about 12 lengths faster than the horse has ever gone before, may well have gutted him for this campaign.
It was just a huge run. Speaking of PBs, the next race was the other feature event of the day, the Starstruck. Let's take a look at Fontainebleau taking it out.
Lucky Raw had broken them up and had raced away from them. Brown throws everything at Lucky Raw, coming to the corner, trying to get a bit of a break. A length and a half. Fontainebleau about to roll off the fence. Black Line calling it a day. Celebrity Dream moves up 4th, but boy, she's done some work. On the rails, Pixated, Bushfire Blonde, and further back, Royal Missile. Lucky Raw has a kick. Lucky Raw at the 302 in front. Fontainebleau looked to be the danger. Celebrity Dreams 4 lengths further back. It's Lucky Raw at the front at the 100. Fontainebleau's got it though. It's Fontainebleau on the outside, reaching the lead from Lucky Raw. Further back, running on Showcase, but Fontainebleau wins it.
Fontainebleau recording a figure of 8.3 lengths better than benchmark. It was the best performance of the day. A really good performance, Mark.
It was outstanding, wasn't it? The Forgive horse in this race has got to beat Celebrity Dream. Before the race, the connections were a little bit concerned about the trip and the gate, and I think both of them proved her undoing, and certainly the fast tempo as well wasn't to her liking. She's probably better suited over 1,000, 1,200 and 1,400. I remember very early on in the carnival she was really good over 1,000 and looked like a horse to follow in the shorter trips. She's ended up over 1,600 metres and just gone way too hard, way too early. The Forgive horse. The Forget horse is Private Dancer, just don't know where she's at the moment. And the follow horse, looking forward to the Trees Classic on Perth Cup Day, has to be Fontainebleau. That was a very, very good performance.
Looking forward to that 1,800 metre event. All right, the last race was taken out by Neurological, who made it 4 wins from his last 5 starts.
Come up for any air. Over on the inside, Song of Vincent, a half a length in front. On the outside of it there, really making this leader work along is Miss Swindle, being followed by Paradise Square and Beat the Devil, beautifully placed to the corner. A length and a half to Neurological, and then came Moet de Vega. Further back, Danny George and Swift Platinum, Adrian McPhee. They're into the home straight. Miss Swindle over on the outside, got a nose in front. Beat the Devil's about to join her. The run came for Paradise Square though. Beat the Devil, Miss Swindle, Paradise Square, and now Neurological. Beat the Devil with 100 to go. Over on the inside, Miss Swindle, Neurological diving. Will Pike win the last? You betcha bottom dollar he will. He gets
off a little bit of a break. Neurological was able to get the job done. It was a nice performance.
Yeah, he's a really good trainer, Martin Allen. Really understands how his horses work and also how the ratings and the distances work as well. He dropped this horse back in class and back in trip from the York Cup, and it got the chocolates. I'm just kicking myself I didn't back it, because at $10 it was massive overs. He's the follow horse. I think he can win another. The Forgive horse, he's beat the Devil, finished second, no shame in that, ran a really good figure, was going from midweek grade and just ran into probably a 72 plus horse. And the Forget horse is Danny George. A few people like this horse around town, myself included, on Saturday. It was just very, very disappointing. Finished ninth. I'm just not sure he's up to this grade.
That is a look at the 8 races that were ran on Saturday. Let's have a look at the meeting in its totality, where we look at the best overall rating. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but Fontainebleau. Yeah,
fantastic performance by Fontainebleau. It was a day out for the Van Heems family, wasn't it? The race named after Ted, and they had 2 horses running around, Ambiente and Fontainebleau, and they couldn't have been more impressive, the two of them. Best overall performance, Fontainebleau. The best class racing, we touched upon it off the top, Market Ruler is just hoovering up this prize money at the moment. Goes around on Saturday. If she's not scratched, she'll be winning again. And then the fastest closing sectionals, Bon Voyage, we mentioned it before. Got to work out the race starts before the turn, this horse. Fastest last 200 yet again. And then Alpha Sky and Shackleton both get a mention there. They come out of their Ambiente race. I think it was a very good race. And those horses, with the ratings they've got, I think we're winning again. I
think they definitely will be. All right, it is time for a break. And on the other side, we'll be looking at how our tipping competition is going. Welcome back to the run of the race. It is time to look at the tip star of the week, and I must say this week's tipper has done an extraordinary job, because let's have a look at the best possible score mark.
1,650 points was the maximum you could have got. You needed 6 of the winners, including Fontainebleau with your big bet and Let's Twist as well. The 2 horses you needed for the place money were Fairview in the first race and Like a Butterfly in race number 4.
Let's have a look at our winner, Rob, who scored 1,401, so not far off the best possible score, but I think it might be the first time where someone hasn't had the highest price one as their best bet and still won. Yeah, I think that's correct, Brittany. We are 11 rounds in. I think Rob has created a little bit of tipstar history here by having Let's Twist, the second best winner of the day, as his best bet. But he did have Fontainebleau at $13.20, don't you mind. I suppose that horse was pretty tippable if you were looking to win a tipping competition, because Celebrity Dream was about $1.50, $1.60. You couldn't
and Fontainebleau was pretty obvious, really, if you were looking to bet away from the favourite.
Exactly, and that's exactly what he did. So he scores the weekly prize. Let's have a look at the overall leaderboard. It doesn't get him into the top 8 though. That leader is still a fair way in front.
Yeah, BJF 77, our first weekly winner, is nearly 500 points clear as we turn for home. We've got about 400 metres to go, a couple of furlongs, just the 2 rounds left. He leads by just under 500 points from J95. Notorious Blue in for third. They're in the money slots at the moment, gold, silver and bronze. 2 rounds to go, next round on the 29th of December, and this concludes, of course, on Tab Touch Perth Cup Day.
Yeah, the whips are cracking. It's they're in the final little part of the race now, and BJF will be trying to hold on to that lead, but there'll be some fast finishes of that, I'm sure, and the next chance you get is this weekend on ATA Stakes Day. So let's have a look at the last 3 editions of the ATA Stakes.
Well clear, out by 3 or 4 Respondent, Dust Me Off running on, then Proper Antis, but it's all Badamajo, and she's pulling away the mare. Badamajo races home to score by 2.5 lengths. Neverland got busy when the race was all but over. Badamajo tackled by Respondent. Now winding up Star Exhibit though, closing right behind those Dark Alert, but Star Exhibit went to Respondent from Dark Musket. Hits the lead, Star Exhibit, too good for them, coming from the back to win the 80.
Dark Alert the outside, then Bollywood Blitz, not again Cam with an inside run. Royal Star down the outside, Trap for Fools just in front. Dark Alert's trying. Trap for Fools in front. Dark Alert comes at him. Trap for Fools, he's unstoppable in front. Kennedy rides hard and Trap for Fools.
There's the last 3 editions of the ATA Stakes. How good is it to see Trap for Fools and to see what he's done now, a Group 1 winner?
That was his 6th win in a row at Ascot. It earned him the Western Race Picks Ascot Horse of the Year prize. To think that Jeff Evans was collecting a Group 1 trophy and a cheque for over $1 million less than 12 months later. Go back 2 years, you got Star Exhibit winning it for Jeff Durant and Jason Miller. That was when Adam was having his sabbatical away from the racing game, and he of course was the last horse to complete the double of the ATA and the Perth Cup.
It'll be interesting to see if any horse was able to do that racing this weekend into the Perth Cup. It's all happening in the next 2 weeks. All right, that is the end of our show. Racing gets underway at 12:55 this weekend on Saturday. We hope to see you at the races, and if not, we'll see you next week.
He makes her bid for a little piece of history.